3 years ago, I reviewed the great action-packed film that is XXX. It was a big success, especially for its star Vin Diesel. About 3 years after that, we got a sequel, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. But is it really that bad still after 20 years? Or am I going to have to give this some good old fashioned Big D justice, even if it does have a new Triple X in the form of Ice Cube? Here's my review of Triple X State of the Union. Yo, man, this is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2005 action spy flick Triple X State of the Union, released by Columbia for Revolution Studios, directed by Lee Tamahori, starring Ice Cube as the titular character, who I'll give his name in a bit, along with Willem Dafoe, Scott Speedman, Peter Strauss, plus a few returning cast members, including Michael Roof and Samuel L. Jackson. This film was released on April 29th, 2005. Henceforth, today's the 20th anniversary. Now, outside of North America, this was known as Triple X 2, The Next Level, and Triple X State of Emergency. Now, it's the lead star and director of the first film, Vin Diesel and Rob Cohen, had signed on to a sequel before the first film had opened, but they both dropped out over scripting issues while Cohen would work on another film called Stealth. Which that film was a major disappointment. This one was factually a slight disappointment in a way because it underperformed a little bit. It made a little over its budget, but well, it's just been some issues and what have you. However, Cohen remained as an executive producer, and Ice Cube took over the lead role as the new Triple X agent, and Tamahori was brought to direct, following his success with Pierce Brosnan's last outing as James Bond in Die Another Day. Yep. This would also be the last film in the series to be released through Columbia, as Paramount became the distributor for its future films, starting with Triple X Return of Xander Cage, which would come out 12 years later, and Vin Diesel would return. Now, before I get started with the review and story, if you haven't seen my review of the first Triple X film, I advise you to click on that card there and catch it and watch it before you go into this video in case you might miss it or if you want to see it again. But I know a lot of people's already watched it. That's already gone over 600 views. Yeah. Okay, let's get started. In Virginia, assailants breach an underground NSA bunker run by Agent Augustus Gibbons, who fends off the attackers before barely escaping with Toby Shavers. To find help from a Triple X with more attitude, Gibbons meets his former comrade, Darius Stone, a former U.S. Navy SEAL who is currently serving sentence in Leavenworth for disobeying orders and breaking the jaw of ex-four-star General George Deckard, who is now the Secretary of Defense. NSA agent Kyle Steele was informed that Xander Cage was apparently killed at the same time in Bora Bora and is leading the investigation into the attack on the bunker. Gibbons helps Stone escape out of prison, who then sets himself up as their leader as he mistrusts Gibbons. Stone leads them to meet Zeke, his old partner in crime, and Lola Jackson, his ex-girlfriend, who now runs an exotic car shop. Lola agrees to let Stone, Gibbons, and Shavers hide in her shop in exchange for the 67 GTO that Shavers modified. Stone then infiltrates the NSA bunker where Gibbons had instructed him to recover a hard drive, while Gibbons returns to his house to recover evidence. However, Deckard and Sergeant Alabama Cobb, aka Bama, attack and apparently kill Gibbons before bombing and burning the house to cover up the evidence. Stone meets with Gibbons' contact, Charlie Mayweather, to get information. Charlie directs Stone to a party where Stone recognizes that Deckard's bodyguards are members of his old SEAL team unit before overhearing Deckard arguing with General Jack Pettibone, VCJCS. Stone goes to Charlie's safe house but is framed for murdering Pettibone, realizing that she is involved in the conspiracy. The police arrive and Steele arrives to talk with Stone before escaping. While Shavers hacks into the Pentagon to retrieve Deckard's plans, Steele researches Stone and discovers his imprisonment occurred because when Deckard ordered his SEAL team to start a fire to clear civilians, Stone and half of the unit rebelled, resulting in Stone being court-martialed. Stone infiltrates Deckard's troops aboard an aircraft carrier and discovers Gibbons alive, being held prisoner along with the rest of their SEAL team unit. Stone realizes that the men who sided with him against Deckard are prisoners, while those who stayed loyal are Deckard's security. Mayweather is also alerted to Stone's presence, forcing Stone to escape. After retrieving the plan, Stone learns that Deckard is planning a coup against President James Sanford. Stone contacts Steele and shows him the plans. When Steele notes that his plans are not clear proof, Stone frustratingly leaves, to Steele's initial disbelief. During a conversation with Deckard, Steele realizes Stone was right. He finds Stone and tells him that Deckard wants to kill Sanford and his successors so he can replace Sanford as president, in opposition to Sanford's current plans to dismantle various military presences to focus on 4 and 8. Now I'm going to the ending. You know the procedure. You better stop this video immediately before I go to this ending. Alright, here's the 5 seconds. I think you know the rest of the procedure. Okay, you've been warned. Stone, Steele, and Shavers enlist the AF Zeke and his crew. Together they rob a civilian truck that is secretly hauling guns and equipment for the Department of Homeland Security while disguised as a cheese truck. They end up hijacking a tank, and Stone helps Steele penetrate the Capitol building where Sanford's State of the Union address is being held. A shootout starts and Gibbons kills Mayweather. Deckard and Cobb abduct Sanford, and with Gibbons now free, they escape on a bullet train. Lola arrives with a Ford Shelby Cobra concept, which Stone uses to chase and infiltrate the train. He kills Cobb before engaging Deckard, while Gibbons flies a helicopter Steele uses to extract Sanford. Stone jumps out as Gibbons derails and destroys the train, killing Deckard. The story is covered up, and Deckard is buried and branded a hero. Sanford awards Steele and the unknown soldier, who happens to be Stone by the way, the Medal of Honor. Stone is officially released from prison, and he says his goodbyes and returns to his former lifestyle. In the now rebuilt NSA headquarters, Gibbons, Steele, and Shavers discuss potential qualities for the next XXX agent. End of story. So what do I think of XXX State of the Union? Well, it's not quite as good as its predecessor, though, but it still provides some pretty cool action, though. Unfortunately, this film kind of, in a way, didn't do so hot at the box office. It made an overall worldwide total of $71 million against a reported production budget of $60. However, according to the Rap.com, the production budget was a reported $87 million, but Revolution spent a total of $113 million. So this was kind of a film that bombed at the box office. So in other words, it really didn't do so hot. It didn't even do so hot because it came in third, losing to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and The Interpreter. Critics were really harsh on this. It has a mere 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying it's even more absurd and implausible than its predecessor. The film is less inspired and technically competent than its predecessor. Metacritic has a score of 37, while audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film a grade of a B+. The Denton Record Chronicle called Ice Cube's XXX character a chubby, surly, incomprehensible action hero. The New York Daily Times was impressed, explaining that the chases, shootouts, and explosions in this deafening, lame-brained wreck of a movie make the Roadrunner cartoons look like National Geographic specials. However, with some critics, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel praised Ice Cube's trademark charisma and street sensibility. Entertainment Weekly called it that rare B movie that's rooted in gut level stirrings of power and retaliation. The Arizona Daily Star was impressed, saying that the movie appears to have employed a Super Nintendo as its screenwriter and it boasts all the elegance and character development of a Transformers episode. The BBC said, viewed on its own trashy terms, it succeeds brilliantly. Well, it's a mixed bag, though. It did have some pretty fun action bits, but it still just couldn't quite match up to its predecessor, though. And so, in other words, the film kind of actually did bomb at the box office after revealing what its actual budget that Revolution had spent. However, there were some good things I liked about it. Marco Beltrami does the score for the film. Well, it's almost as good as the score we got for the first film. Neil H. Moritz had come on board to produce the film. This would be one of the early films for his company, Original Film. That, of course, which of course would later work on some other film franchises. But anyway, it just wasn't so big and what have you, and apparently it didn't do so hot as I've said, and Paramount became the distributor for its feature films. In 2012, Return of Xander Cage was released. And while it did much better than this film did. So, anyway, yeah. And the story's fine. Not great, though. Ice Cube does a pretty good job as Darius Stone. He's pretty good. Samuel L. Jackson once again plays Augustus Gibbons. He's good. Willem Dafoe plays Deckard, and I'm going to say he was pretty good as the main villain of this film since he did Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, and Spider-Man a few years prior. Scott Speedman played Agent Steele. Pretty good. Peter Strauss played President Sanford. Exhibit played the character as Zeke, and Michael Roof returned as Agent Shavers. He's still pretty good. We have Sonny Mabry as Charlie Mayweather. She was pretty good. Noah Gay, who had recently appeared in the Matrix sequels, played Lola Jackson, and she's pretty good. So anyway, the cast is fine and what have you, and their characters are fine, what have you. But again, like I said, XXX State of the Union is good and what have you, but I can't really defend this 110%. It does have its flaws though, but it's not completely bad. It's just not quite as good as the first XXX. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Ice Cube's still pretty good as an action star too, not just a well, because he's done some fun movies, but and what have you. Okay. So with everything said, would I recommend XXX State of the Union? Well, let me say I'm gonna call it a draw between give it a one-time watch or avoid this. Just forget this even happened and stick with XXX or the third film, Return of Xander Cage. Okay? So I'd say that's about all I can tell you about this film. Just give it a one-time watch or avoid it. Please stand by. But anyway, I'll try and review Return of Xander Cage sometime down the road, and I have yet to review that one, though. But anyway, that's going to do for my review. What did you think of XXX State of the Union? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, make the views grow. Tell your friends about my channel, get to know me, may they like to check be a part of my Big D Nation, share my videos with your friends if you like as well. Next time will be another anniversary review, and it'll be Furry Visions. So if you like this, check out my reviews of these other films with Ice Cube. In the upper left-hand corner is my recent review of Friday from 1995. The upper right-hand corner is my review of John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars. Or if you'd like something else with Willem Dafoe, check out my re-review of Spider-Man from 2002 in the bottom left hand corner. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.